Archangel Michael sent you signs about your house. You overlooked the warnings, dismissed the whispers, and now the storm that was foretold is kicking down your door. The hour has arrived, the very moment that heaven whispered into the silence of your soul. It did not shout. It did not beg. It simply lingered and waited. Archangel Michael was sent ahead of time, long before the tension, long before the disruption, to mark your household with divine protection. He hovered over your roof, stood near your windows, moved through your rooms like a sentinel of fire. The atmosphere shifted. The wind seemed to hesitate. The walls of your home seemed to breathe. But you did not perceive it. The door creaked at an hour when no one moved. The lights flickered not from faulty wires, but from celestial disruption. The silence in your house grew thick, not empty, but heavy with meaning. But still you passed it off. Logical explanations became your comfort, and distraction became your shield. You said it's nothing, but it was everything. The whispers were not psychological, they were spiritual. They were messages from heaven, encoded in the subtle, draped in the stillness. Heaven was warning you. This is not fear speaking. This is divine mercy being interpreted. Because God never allows a storm to arrive without first sending signs. And now, beloved, the storm is not on the way. It has already crossed your threshold. It is kicking down your door, not to destroy, but to awaken. For too long, you have dismissed the subtle nudges. You've explained away the dreams. You've ignored the pressure in your chest. But the spirit realm has not forgotten. Heaven's patience has reached its tipping point, and the shift in your atmosphere is not imagined, it is divine. This message is not for the distracted. It is not for the doubters. It is for the one who has felt the air grow still before a soundless explosion. For the one who walks through their house and feels like something is watching, something is whispering, something unseen is moving. It is for the one who has said, something feels off, but I can't name it. You are not imagining it. You are not overthinking. You are being summoned to attention. Because this is not just about your house. It's about the gates of your destiny that your house protects. Archangel Michael has sounded the final alarm. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. By the next sunrise, Archangel Michael whispers, the truth within your walls will be revealed. This is not a message to soothe you. This is a divine interruption. This is a heavenly invasion into the routine comfort that has allowed delay to masquerade as discernment. You have waited. You have brushed it off. You have stood in your home and said, I just need rest, while your spirit cried out beneath the surface, I need deliverance. And now heaven responds, not with soft reassurance but with prophetic confrontation. The Spirit of the living God is calling your house into account. Michael, the warring angel of heaven, was not sent without purpose. He was dispatched by divine command to inspect, to observe, to weigh the unseen structures of your dwelling. And what he found were cracks. Cracks not in drywall or tile, but in spiritual fortitude. Leaks in your atmosphere where fear had crept in. Open gates where bitterness walked freely. Corners where prayer had ceased and silence had settled in as a counterfeit peace. And yet, you kept going. You kept sleeping in the same bed where nightmares stirred. You kept entertaining conversations that carried venom behind smiles. You kept allowing energy to remain that God never authorized. But now the storm has touched your threshold. The archangel sword has not been raised against you, but against what has slipped in undetected, against what has stolen your joy, against what has drained your strength. Heaven is not punishing you. It is purging your environment. It is issuing a final notice. What you ignore will soon confront you. What you tolerate will soon take root. But what you confront in the spirit will be uprooted and cast out. You may not know it, but your home hath been under surveillance. Angels have stood watch. Night after night, the sound of your unrest, the subtle cracking in your dreams, the unexplainable tension in your rooms. These were alarms sounding in the spirit realm. And now, the time of investigation has ended. The time of manifestation has arrived. This message is not for every soul. It is for the one whose spirit is stirred even now. It is for the one who walks into certain rooms and feels the heaviness rise. It is for the one who feels safe in the daylight but unnerved by the shadows at night. You have not been crazy. You have been alerted. What has hidden behind your walls will now step forward, because it cannot survive under the weight of heaven's light. Michael's sword has drawn a line in the spirit. That which is unclean will no longer reside where God's presence desires to dwell. So now, invoke him. Stand up. Wub your hold. Call upon Archangel Michael to surround your space, not with decoration, but with divine war. Invite him to guard your doors, your windows, your children's rooms, your sacred spaces. Speak aloud. Let every shadow be driven out. Let every unclean presence be confronted. Let every demonic whisper be silenced under the authority of heaven's captain. Do not delay. The divine clock has already struck. Every hour you ignore the stirring, the residue deepens. Every hour you wait, the storm intensifies. But the moment you align, heaven's winds begin to turn in your favor. Heaven does not need your perfection. It requires your attention. If you will heed this divine warning now, the same angel who came to warn will become the angel who wars beside you. This is not superstition. This is not spiritual drama. This is divine precision. Heaven is speaking in high frequency. If your spirit is hearing this now, you have been marked for intervention. The sword of heaven is already drawn. An Archangel Michael is waiting for your command to drive out what has lingered too long. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. There's been a disturbance in your spirit, a weight you couldn't explain, a tension in the air that no one else seems to feel. At night, you've heard the whispers. You felt the chills down your spine when the room was warm. You've walked through your own home and felt like something was watching, something was measuring your reaction. This isn't paranoia. This is perception. Your spirit has been detecting what your mind could not comprehend. You are not imagining this. You are not emotionally unstable. You are not broken. You are awakening. Heaven has allowed you to sense the edges of this mystery because the truth has been trying to confront you through subtle waves. What you dismissed as bad vibes or a weird dream were divine notifications. The flickering lights, the sudden restlessness at 3 a.m., the emotional heaviness that clings to you after certain people leave your house, all of it was heaven alerting you. This is not natural disturbance. This is spiritual residue. You are being prompted to see with the eyes of the Spirit, not the comfort of the flesh. Those who entered your home recently did not come alone. They carried fragments, words unspoken, intentions concealed, and energy cloaked in charm. They brought the aftertaste of unresolved darkness. Conversations that appeared lighthearted carried embedded confusion. Smiles that felt sincere left behind questions you couldn't answer. There was an exchange that took place, invisible but impactful. And now, your atmosphere is the evidence. The Spirit of the Lord says, They touched your peace without knowing its source. They entered your sacred space with spirits they could not name. And now the air testifies against their presence. Your restlessness is not anxiety. It is discernment rising. What the world calls stress, the spirit calls sensitivity. You're not breaking down. You're being stirred up. Your sleep is interrupted because heaven is waking your soul before something slips deeper into your home. God is refusing to let you get comfortable with what's been quietly contaminating your space. The silence is not empty, it is sacred. Listen again. Walk through your house slowly. Pause in each room and ask aloud, what has been left behind here that is not mine? You will feel it. You will know. Heaven is revealing the emotional and spiritual fingerprints of betrayal, jealousy, manipulation, and misalignment. They are not visible to the natural eye, but they are loud in the spirit realm. You've been hosting atmospheres that weren't assigned to you. You've been tolerating emotional debris that doesn't belong under your roof. The peace that God gave you has been bargained for with counterfeit connections and unsanctified access. And now the storm is kicking down your door, not to harm you, but to flush it all out. You are not losing your mind. You are gaining your edge. This disturbance is not an attack. It's a divine exposure. What you feel is a heavenly purge beginning. Every hidden motive, every unseen alliance, every false comfort, all of it is being pulled up by the roots. It will feel intense. It will feel lonely. It will feel confusing. But it will be holy. Because when God reveals, He also heals. Now hear this. You are being called to take back dominion over your atmosphere. The same place where you wept will be the place where you woe. The same walls that echoed with confusion will now resonate with clarity. The storm is not just external. It is internal, emotional, atmospheric, and it is sacred. This is not chaos. This is a confrontation with every spiritual squatter in your territory. Don't run from it. Don't numb it. Don't explain it away. Face it in the spirit. Because this is how your peace returns, not by avoidance, but by authority. Type "My atmosphere is shifting" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1414 is now moving through your space. And if this word is confirming what you've been sensing deep within your spirit, I invite you to partner with this prophetic movement. Every time you sow into this channel, whether through super thanks, membership, or even a one-time seed via PayPal, you are helping bring light into homes that are drowning in silence. You're not just supporting a message, you're releasing spiritual oil into someone else's storm. Heaven said in Luke 6:38, "Give, and it will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is your chance to make that verse come alive. I feel led to tell you, your giving in this moment isn't random. It's prophetic alignment. You're not just helping spread the gospel, you're shifting atmospheres. The PayPal link is in the description below. Heaven is watching. Activate your giving and watch what opens. Now move with faith, not hesitation. This battle didn't begin with an argument. It didn't start with a broken appliance or a moment of frustration. It didn't erupt from the chaos of the world outside your walls. And oh, this conflict has spiritual roots. It is ancient. It is strategic. And it has been slowly intensifying, waiting for the moment when you would finally awaken to the reality of what's been contending for the soul of your home. The turmoil in your atmosphere is not random. It's not just life being hard. It is the result of a hidden war, one that has been fought in the spirit long before you saw the symptoms in the natural. This is not about bad luck, bad energy, or bad days. This is about spiritual invasion. Forces that once hovered on the outskirts have now tried to enter. The arguing that started over something small, that was just the manifestation. The sudden coldness between family members, that was just the surface. The feeling that the walls are closing in, that something is off, that you're constantly on edge, all of that is evidence that your home has become a battleground. Archangel Michael has not just arrived to bring peace, he has arrived to wage war on your behalf. There are spirits that try to attach themselves to legacy, to bloodlines, to rooms saturated in unspoken pain. There are battles we inherit unknowingly, emotional cycles, spiritual fatigue, inherited warfare that seeks to manifest in the environments we dwell in. And if we are not alert, if we are not spiritually tuned, we will keep trying to mitigate what must be cast out. We'll keep trying to ignore what must be confronted. The Holy Spirit says, this is not personal, this is positional. You are being opposed not for who you are now, but for who you are becoming. The enemy knew what your house was about to birth. The enemy discerned that your prayers were gaining force. The enemy heard the whispers of heaven when your name was mentioned in divine strategy sessions. And so it tried to enter, not through a front door, but through disagreement, through distraction, through depression, through disunity. But Archangel Michael has drawn his sword. The heat you're feeling, the shaking you've noticed, the arguments that came out of nowhere, this is the storm flushing out what was hidden. God allowed the irritation so he could reveal the infestation. God allowed the spiritual pressure so you'd recognize what had settled in too comfortably. The Spirit didn't abandon you. He activated the storm to purge your space. You are not being punished. You are being refined. Every shift in energy, every emotional unease, every unexpected conflict has been a divine spotlight. God has been showing you what must go. Not everyone who walked into your house came with clean intentions. Not every object placed in your rooms holds innocent energy. Some things carry agreements. Some relationships come with spiritual baggage. Some arguments are not about opinions, they are about access. Because every moment you war with someone you were meant to love, the enemy is slipping through the cracks unchecked. Michael's voice now thunders, sanctify your dwelling. Heaven is not asking for perfection. Heaven is commanding obedience. God is calling you to take authority, to walk room by room and declare, this space belongs to the Lord. No fear, no confusion, no residue of darkness may dwell here. Don't just clean your house, consecrate it. Don't just redecorate, reclaim it. This storm was not sent to destroy your home. It was sent to expose every presence hiding behind the mask of normalcy. You are not crazy. You are not overreacting. You are awakening to your authority. And now, heaven is watching how you respond. Will you or will you win? Will you declare or delay? Because what you say now determines what stays and what must flee. Type "My house is holy ground" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1777 is now surrounding your atmosphere. Within the next 72 hours, the atmosphere will shift again, more intensely, more tangibly, more visibly. What once lingered quietly will now rise boldly. The storm that was only sensed in your spirit will soon echo in your surroundings. This is not a metaphor. This is a prophetic alert. There will be movement. Someone will say something out of nowhere. An argument will try to force its way into your space. A surprise knock on the door will carry more weight than it appears. You may notice things breaking. You may notice old emotions resurfacing. This is the collision between what God is driving out and what darkness is refusing to release. Heaven is not warning you to make you afraid. Heaven is warning you to prepare. There is a divine strategy at play. The disturbance has a timeline. And now, that clock is ticking loud in the spirit. Every second that passes is drawing the storm closer to full manifestation. But do not misunderstand this storm. It is not destruction. It is revelation. You are about to see the spiritual become physical. What was hidden in whispers will now shout through circumstance. The Spirit of the Lord says, before the sun sets 3 times, something will be exposed that could not stay hidden any longer. This could look like a sudden conflict with someone you trusted. It could come in the form of a message, a call, a dream that unsettles you. It might arrive through a child's innocent comment that feels far too insightful. Whatever form it takes, it will come with the weight of confirmation. Don't dismiss it. Don't rationalize it. Don't explain it away. Instead, prepare your house in the Spirit. Walk through every room and speak aloud, the blood of Jesus covers this space. No darkness, no manipulation, no spiritual residue is allowed here. Anoint your doors. Pray over your windows. Place your hands on your walls. Speak peace aloud, even if your voice shakes. What you declare in faith will become a boundary in the Spirit. You may feel the storm before you see the full confrontation. You may experience technology glitching, lights flickering, appliances misbehaving. Not every flicker is spiritual, but some are. The enemy often disrupts the physical environment to get you to panic. But your peace must become your weapon. When the shaking begins, do not match chaos with chaos. Match it with stillness and spiritual precision. The Spirit says, if you do not prepare, you will react. But if you prepare, you will stand. God is not allowing this exposure to shame you. He's allowing it to shield you. Because what's coming is a final sweep, a divine clean out of every spiritual trespasser. He is flushing out hidden covenants. He is canceling invisible agreements. He is forcing what has watched from the shadows to step into the light. Some of the people or energies connected to this confrontation have been assigned to slow you down, to introduce confusion, to dismantle peace at the root. But now the storm is here, and the winds will not obey them. You are not at the mercy of this moment. You are the reason for it. Your authority is being forged through this resistance. Your discernment is being sharpened in real time. Heaven has not abandoned you. Heaven has sounded the alarm. And every angel dispatched to your dwelling is now waiting for you to open your mouth in agreement. Say it out loud, this house belongs to the Lord. Nothing unclean shall dwell here. Now act on what you've been sensing. Don't ignore the nudge to cancel that meeting. Don't overlook the check in your spirit when that phone rings. Don't delay the call to intercede over your home. You've waited long enough. Heaven hath been waiting for you to respond. This is not the moment to doubt yourself. This is the moment to rise in spiritual posture and declare war on what declared war on your peace. Type I am ready for exposure in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1919 is being released over your threshold. Be still. Not passive. Not silent out of fear. But still in sacred discipline. Still in strategic surrender. Heaven does not require your panic. Heaven requires your posture. A storm is moving. The air has shifted. And Archangel Michael now stands over your home with wings expanded, sword drawn, and eyes like fire searching through every shadow. Nothing in your house is hidden from heaven's sight. Nothing whispered behind closed doors goes unheard. And now, the command from the throne is clear. Do not react in fear. Respond in faith. Yes, you can feel the tension in the air. Yes, things may grow louder, heavier, more agitated. But remember this truth: you are surrounded. What the enemy did not anticipate was your awakening. What darkness hoped would remain unchallenged has now been exposed under divine inspection. Michael is not pacing. He is not questioning. He is guarding. Every threshold, every doorway, every spiritual gate that was once unprotected is now being covered by celestial fire. But your role in this war is not warfare as the world defines it. It is not in shouting. It is not in proving your point. It is not in being louder than the storm. Your assignment in this hour is sacred stillness. You must become a vessel so still, so yielded, that heaven can echo through your very breath. This is how you win now, by listening. Listening not to noise but to whispers. Because divine instruction will not come through chaos. It will come through the quiet moments, in the in-between places where your soul finally slows down and your spirit can rise. Speak softly in this season. Pray intentionally. Buzz often. If confusion rises, respond with praise. If accusation surfaces, answer with silence. Your enemies expect retaliation, but they will be undone by your restraint. Your peace is now your sword. Your worship is now your war cry. Your obedience is now your weapon. Say it aloud right now: my home is sealed in light. My spirit is untouchable. No fear can enter. No confusion can reside. No voice but heaven's will speak within these walls. What you decree in this moment becomes law in the spirit realm. What you affirm becomes a spiritual perimeter around your house. The storm may still roar, but it will not breach your borders. What tried to enter before, the jealousy, the contention, the heaviness, it will now find resistance. Because the angel of the Lord has taken his stand, and you have taken your position. You are not retreating in defeat. You are receding into holy protection. You are doing what warriors do before victory, not fighting with fists, but with faith. The temptation will come to do something in the natural, but resist it unless the Spirit speaks. You don't need to answer every call. You don't need to fix every misunderstanding. You don't need to make everything feel normal again. Let it stay uncomfortable. Let it stay unsettled. Because the storm is still cleaning house, and you must not interrupt the holy disruption. You are being taught a higher form of spiritual warfare. You are learning the strength of divine stillness. You are being trained not to react from the soul, but to move by the Spirit. And as you remain still, heaven is rearranging everything. Michael is handling what you cannot see. The hosts of heaven are clearing the air, canceling assignments, reversing permissions that were never authorized by God. Even as you rest, the war continues, and you are winning. So take your posture, sit in your peace, guard your quiet, pray in the Spirit, and watch what happens when you stop striving and let God surround your home in full command. Type "I am sheltered by heaven" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2020 is now active over your home. You are not who you were when the first creak of the door startled you in the night. You are not the same person who ignored the flickering lights or explained away the weight in the room. You have changed, not just in awareness but in authority. The storm that once came to confront you is now submitting to the power rising within you. This is no longer about survival. This is about awakening. This is about ownership. This is about the holy reclaiming of your house, your atmosphere, your voice, and your place in the spirit realm. You stood face to face with what once intimidated you. You've walked through your dwelling sensing invisible friction, and instead of running, you began discerning. You stopped asking, "What's happening to me?" and started declaring, I know what this is, and it cannot stay. That is spiritual maturity. That is divine boldness. That is the evidence that the warnings you once dismissed are now the wisdom you carry into war. You are no longer a visitor in your own home. You are the gatekeeper. You are the watcher at the threshold. You are the one who now understands that not everything that enters is meant to stay. Not every conversation, not every item, not every emotion, not every guest. You have developed spiritual vision. You can feel the shifts, smell the spiritual residue, hear the conversations happening in the unseen realm. And you are not afraid anymore. You are focused. Where fear once lived, discernment has taken its place. Where confusion once reigned, clarity now resides. This is not just about your peace returning, it's about your position being restored. God has used the storm not just to reveal what didn't belong, but to unveil who you truly are. You are not the victim of the shaking. You are the reason the shaking began. You are the one chosen to break the cycle. You are the one trusted to see what others overlooked. You are the one called to cleanse the atmosphere for generations to come. Archangel Michael now stands beside you, not just in protection, but in alignment. The angel who once warned now wars with you, not just for you. He is not guarding a weak vessel. He is walking beside a rising authority. Heaven has acknowledged the shift in you. Your prayers have changed tone. Your presence has shifted weight. When you enter a room, the spirit realm adjusts. That is not arrogance. That is spiritual inheritance being activated. And your house is becoming holy ground again. Not just a place to sleep, but a place to dwell with glory. Not just a space to hide, but a space to host the presence of God. You are not surviving anymore. You are sanctifying. The storm did not break you. It baptized you. It didn't drown you. It delivered you. And now your foundation has been reset. The storms that once terrified you will now serve as confirmation. Every disruption is a sign that God is near. Every confrontation is evidence that you've become too powerful to ignore. The enemy does not send storms against the comfortable. It targets the called. And now that you know what you carry, you will never be unarmed again. So walk your house today like it is royal territory. Speak to your rooms as if heaven lives in them, because it does. Anoint your steps. Command your mornings. Reclaim your nights. This is not just your house anymore. It's your sanctuary, your altar, your headquarters. You are no longer waiting for the storm to pass. You are now the calm that commands it. Type "I am walking in power" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2323 has been ignited within you. The storm was never about punishment. It was not designed to destroy your home. It was orchestrated to expose what has been operating beneath the surface for far too long. Heaven never sends a storm without purpose. And now, the Spirit of God says, what was camouflaged in care, what was clothed in friendship, what was disguised in comfort, has now been stripped of its illusion. This was a divine setup for a holy exposure. The friction you felt was not the attack. It was the revelation of what was already rooted inside your walls. Yes, it was jealousy. Yes, it was false alliance. Yes, it was spiritual contamination cloaked in normalcy. Someone smiled in your face while their spirit resented your peace. Someone came into your space with hands that appeared clean, but their presence left behind emotional residue. You felt it. The moment they left, you felt heavier. The conversation didn't sit right. The energy shifted, but you dismissed it because it didn't look like warfare. It didn't sound demonic, but it was spiritual. It was strategic. It was sent to drain your oil without asking for your permission. The Spirit says, this storm was not for them. This storm was for you, to open your eyes, to tune your ears, to awaken your discernment. Because you cannot carry what is next if you're still entertaining what's expired. That's why everything started shaking. That's why your dreams intensified. That's why your rest was interrupted. Heaven was remodeling your spiritual foundation. The architecture of your atmosphere was under divine renovation, and renovations always come with disruption. Michael's sword didn't strike your enemies, it struck the structure. It struck the false comfort. It struck the familiar cycles. It struck the hidden alliances. And now, you are standing in the center of a holy disruption that is clearing the way for your next level. What you thought was an attack on your house was actually the unlocking of your assignment. The storm flushed out hidden agendas. The shaking rattled loose every unclean agreement. The exposure tore down the veil that kept you spiritually passive. Now you see. Now you sense. Now you know. And now that you know, you must move differently. You are stepping into a season where casual access is no longer allowed. You are moving into a realm of spiritual authority where atmosphere matters more than opinion. God is making your house an embassy, a territory of the kingdom. That's why everything had to be exposed. The enemy thought your home would stay neutral. The enemy thought you would stay blind. But now, your eyes have been opened. Your space is being consecrated, and your name hath been spoken in heavenly places. This is why the war felt personal, because the assignment is powerful. This is why the silence in your home felt oppressive, because darkness was trying to hide behind it. But now the storm has passed through like a prophet, and it has told the truth your mouth couldn't speak. Everything that could be shaken was shaken, and what remains now is pure, intentional, anointed. You are not just recovering from a storm. You are rising from it. And as you rise, you step into the clarity of divine identity. You were never under attack. You were under construction. This is your release. This is your activation. And from this moment forward, nothing unassigned will survive in your space. Your house is not just clean, it's consecrated. Type I receive the revelation in the comments if you feel this in your spirit. Blessing code 3131 is now aligning your atmosphere with heaven. This revelation didn't just come to inform you, it came to ignite you. And if your spirit is burning with truth right now, I invite you to become part of the mission to awaken others. When you give, whether through super thanks, membership, or by sowing a seed through PayPal, you're not supporting a channel. You're fueling a prophetic wave that's reaching households that desperately need heaven's voice. The word says in Proverbs 11:25, "Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed." This is your moment to sow into sacred ground. A spiritual storm was just turned into a testimony. Step into that flow. PayPal link is in the description below. Give boldly, give prophetically, and watch what opens next. Now that the storm has spoken and the veil has been torn, you can no longer return to the way things were. You've been marked. You've been awakened. You've been summoned into spiritual maturity. And now, the heavens declare, it's time to activate. This moment is not an ending. It is a launching. The shaking wasn't just a test, it was a key. What you endured was not punishment, it was preparation for dominion. This house, your house, has now become a command post in the spirit. The walls have been sanctified, the air has been shifted, and the ground beneath your feet is now anointed with the residue of war and victory. The Lord says, This is your homecoming, not to a location, but to spiritual ownership. No more walking through your own rooms like a visitor. No more allowing chaos to rent space in your atmosphere. No more tolerating spiritual squatting. Today, you reclaim your dominion. You reclaim your sound. You reclaim your authority. What was once a place of survival will now become a place of divine sending. This is where you build altars. This is where you raise standards. This is where your declarations echo into the unseen realm and restructure the atmosphere. The Spirit is pressing you now. Speak life. Speak it boldly. Speak it daily. Walk room to room and open your mouth. Say what heaven is saying. Prophecy over the very walls that once held your tears. Declare it without fear. Only peace may dwell here. Only light may enter. Only divine conversations will echo in this space. What you speak now activates what has been waiting to move. Angels are listening. The atmosphere is responding. Heaven is leaning in. This is not symbolic. This is strategic. Your words are building spiritual scaffolding. Your declarations are writing divine blueprints. The moment you align your voice with your assignment, the foundations of your house respond. Things will begin to move, shift, correct, and accelerate. Even the things you forgot to pray for, even the unspoken desires hidden deep in your soul, heaven remembers. And as you declare alignment, your destiny begins to open like a sealed scroll. Your habits must shift now. Your conversations must sharpen. Your time must become sacred. God is not just giving you peace. He's giving you purpose inside of your own dwelling. This is where strategies will be birthed. This is where visions will come at night. This is where breakthrough will knock on the door unannounced. You must treat your house as holy, because it has become a portal of divine assignments. You are not just cleaning a home, you are consecrating an altar. And this altar will not be silent. Heaven says, from this place, you will launch deliverance. From this place, you will intercede for nations. From this place, your lineage will be healed. From this place, prophetic clarity will flow like oil. But none of this comes without participation. You must engage the assignment. You must respond. You must declare your yes. Heaven awaits your activation, and heaven moves when you move in agreement. You are not at the mercy of your past. You are not the sum of previous pain. You are a keeper of divine ground. This is your threshold moment. This is where you rise. The angels who stood guard during the storm are now turning toward you, waiting for your command, because you have been entrusted with divine influence. Take the oil. Take the word. Take your voice. Walk through your dwelling with confidence and say it loud. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Nothing unholy will thrive here. Nothing contrary will survive here. This house is a birthing ground for miracles. Type "My house is activated" in the comments if you feel this in your spirit. Blessing code 4040 is now vibrating through your walls with divine affirmation. As you rest tonight, as your body yields to sleep and your mind begins to drift into stillness, there is a silent exchange unfolding in the spirit realm. It cannot be seen with the eyes, nor heard with the ears, but the atmosphere is alive with motion. You may not feel it, but heaven is wide awake. While the world around you slumbers, the kingdom of God is engaged in a divine transaction on your behalf. The ground you stand on has been claimed. The air you breathe has been cleared. The very walls of your home, once whispering confusion, are now vibrating with angelic movement. What was stolen in secret is being returned in silence. You see, every tear you've cried, even the ones you wiped away so quickly that no one saw, was recorded in the scrolls of heaven. Every moment of doubt, every sigh of exhaustion, every hidden fear that crept into your heart during the long nights of spiritual unrest, it all became seed in the unseen. And now, the wind has shifted. Now, the seed is sprouting. Heaven is answering in stillness what you cried for in desperation. The angels who stood guard through your storm are no longer just defenders. They are now messengers of restoration. They are carrying back what was taken, the clarity you thought you lost, the peace you once had, the joy that felt buried, the hope you feared would never return. The Spirit of God says, what was delayed is now descending. What was blocked is now breaking through. What was misaligned is being restored in secret. This moment is holy. This silence is sacred. In the stillness of this hour, God is negotiating on your behalf. He is speaking in realms your mind cannot comprehend. He is reversing the curses. He is rewriting the story. He is canceling the voice of every accuser who spoke against your peace. And as he moves quietly, not because he is hiding, but because this kind of victory does not require noise. It requires faith. You may feel pressure in your chest. You may feel heat in the air. You may wake suddenly in the middle of the night for no apparent reason. Do not be alarmed. This is spiritual transaction. The veil is thin. The heavens are near. You are not being disturbed. You are being visited. The Spirit is settling accounts. The Lord of hosts is sealing the gates. And Archangel Michael, sword now at rest, stands watch with a knowing gaze. The assignment has shifted from warfare to fulfillment. Even your dreams will change. What once tormented you in your sleep will now become prophecy. What once woke you in fear will now awaken you in fire. The shadows that loomed in the corners will now retreat as the oil of God saturates your space. You will wake up and sense it. Something has moved. Something has lifted. Something has been returned. This is not imagination. This is divine justice being transacted while you sleep. So tonight, do not fear. Do not replay the conflict. Do not rehearse what went wrong. Just rest. Just breathe. Just open your spirit and let heaven complete the work. Because when the morning comes, you will not rise as the person who went to bed. You will rise as one who has traded trauma for truth, anxiety for authority, and silence for the sound of destiny being fulfilled. And when you wake, you will feel it. The storm will have passed. The air will be clear. The ground beneath your feet will feel new. Because in the silent hours, heaven touched your house. Type heaven is moving for me in the comments if you feel this happening in your spirit. Blessing code 5050 is now surrounding your rest with divine recompense. The winds have shifted. The storm that once raged at your door has now bowed in obedience to the hand of God. But this next move isn't just about peace, it's about justice. Divine justice. What was hidden is now being judged. What was whispered in darkness is now being weighed in the courts of heaven. And the Spirit of God says, I have seen. I heard. And now I will respond. You may not have had the words. You may not have had the strength to explain the emotional weight you carried, the spiritual unrest you couldn't describe, the betrayal you couldn't prove. But heaven kept record. Heaven documented every moment your spirit was crushed in silence. Every plot spoken against your peace. Every door opened behind you back. Every lie wrapped in politeness. Every manipulative smile that sat at your table but pierced your atmosphere. None of it went unseen. And now, justice has stepped into your house. You are about to witness divine reversal. Not through revenge, not through your own hands, but through the holy hand of God moving in ways that no man can undo. Those who sowed confusion into your space will now reap clarity, the kind of clarity that unmasks every false alliance, exposes every hidden agenda, and brings every double-tongued voice into the open. Not to shame them, but to silence the manipulation they carried. The Spirit declares, "For I, the Lord, am a God of justice. I do not forget. I do not overlook. And I do not delay when my children cry out from a place of purity." You didn't need to defend yourself. You didn't need to retaliate. You didn't need to prove your worth. The very storm that came to disrupt you has now testified on your behalf. It has flushed out every false spirit. It has revealed every loose thread. And now the gavel of heaven strikes, and the decision had been rendered. This is not karma. This is not coincidence. This is heaven's courtroom in motion. God is restoring the balance. What you lost in confusion, He is returning with clarity. What you lost in emotional exhaustion, He is now replenishing in spiritual endurance. The people who underestimated your discernment will now recognize your mantle. The ones who entered your space casually will now watch as God marks your home as holy. And the residue they left behind, emotionally, spiritually, atmospherically, has been purged by the whirlwind of divine correction. This reversal will be subtle at first. A message here, a realization there, a conversation exposed, a quiet jiff in connection, a sudden change in tone. But soon, it will become undeniable. God is not just repairing your environment, He's rewriting the narrative. And those who tried to attach false definitions to your name will have no choice but to watch as heaven redefines you with glory. You will see relationships restored, the ones that were attacked unjustly. You will see finances recover. What was delayed will now be released. You will feel strength return to your body, peace return to your sleep, revelation return to your dreams. Because justice doesn't just bring balance, it brings healing. The storm that was foretold did its job. The walls have spoken. The lies have surfaced. The watchers in the spirit have been confronted. And now, a holy reversal has begun. You are being lifted out of the rubble of manipulation and set upon a foundation of truth. The scales are tipping, and they are tipping in your favor. Type "justice is falling in my house" in the comments if this word is finding your spirit. Blessing code 5858 is now restoring what was stolen. The storm is passing. The shaking has settled. And now, the air in your home carries a new weight, not of fear, but of glory. You can feel it. The quiet is no longer tense. The silence is no longer heavy. Something has lifted. Something has been cleared. And the Spirit of God says, "My mission in your house is complete. Now let peace reign." Archangel Michael, whose presence once brought a warning, now stands in affirmation. His sword is lowered, his wings are folded in rest, and his assignment over your dwelling has shifted from warfare to watchfulness. Your home has been inspected, it hath been defended, and now it has been marked with light. The portals that were once open to confusion have been sealed. The rooms that echoed with unrest have been anointed. The walls that once trembled under spiritual pressure now stand tall in divine order. You obeyed. You listened. You endured. Even when the signs felt strange. Even when the whispers sounded unreal. Even when doubt tried to blind you, you remained. You pressed in. You prayed. You purified your atmosphere. And heaven took notice. This final blessing is not a reward. It is a release. A release of what you were always meant to carry. A release of divine authority, heavenly stillness, and guarded peace. God now declares over your home, "This is my sanctuary. This is my dwelling place. No weapon formed against it shall prosper. No spirit alike mine shall survive within it. I have chosen this place, and I will inhabit it." Your home will no longer be a hiding place. It will be a healing place, a safe space for encounters, a birthing room for dreams, a headquarters for intercession. The storm may come again, but it will not break through. Darkness may circle, but it will not cross your threshold. This house has been sealed, not by human hands, but by divine covering. And you, child of God, have stepped fully into your role. You are no longer reacting to warfare. You are governing the atmosphere. You are the gatekeeper. You are the intercessor. You are the priest of this temple. No longer will confusion sneak in. No longer will chaos plant roots. You now possess the clarity, the command, and the covering. So declare this aloud right now. My home is restored. My atmosphere is pure. My walls are protected. My foundation is unshakable. And my peace is permanent. Let this be your final exhale, not of relief but of recognition. Heaven has not just passed through your home. It has settled in. The glory of God is no longer visiting, it is dwelling. From this day forward, let your home prophesy. Let your peace preach. Let your stillness speak of the storm that tried to destroy you and failed. Because what came to break you has become the evidence of your breakthrough. What was meant to invade your peace has now strengthened your power. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Now rise and rule your house with the authority of heaven. Type "My house is sealed in glory" in the comments if you receive this final word. Blessing code 7070 has now established your household in divine peace. If this word pierced your spirit and became confirmation of what you've been walking through, now is the time to sow into this move of God. When you support this prophetic mission through super thanks, a YouTube membership, or a one-time seed via PayPal, you're helping us carry the fire of this word into homes across the nations. You're not just giving, you're planting into the ground of glory, into atmospheres that are being transformed. Malachi 3:10 declares, "Bring the whole tithe and see if I will not open the windows of heaven." That window is open now. Give boldly. Give prophetically. The PayPal link is in the video description. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Release your seed and watch the heavens respond.